The Looney Box! Welcome once again to the Looney Box, and I have another review of some more television shows for you today. One is on DVD and one is on Blu-ray, so let's talk about them. Alright, welcome back to the show, and I wanted to talk to you today about another little culty show that made a little bit of a run back in the 80s and early 90s, and that was Friday the 13th. And this was another show that was produced by CBS and Paramount. Now, this show kind of flew under the radar, and one of the things that people didn't necessarily like about it was that it really had nothing to do with Jason and Friday the 13th as people would have thought. It was more of kind of an anthology series and had a lot of stories in it that were, maybe the best way to describe them is lower budget versions of Tales from the Crypt. They weren't as good. They didn't have maybe as much money for the budgets. The writing wasn't there. So it kind of flew under the radar. It managed to survive for multiple seasons, but ultimately it was finally scrapped and canceled. But as the years have gone by, and there's been this nostalgia kick for all of these old horror series and horror movies and horror characters and things from our childhood from the 80s, then things like this have had a resurgence in popularity and people want to see them released on disc. And that's what finally happens after you see bootleg versions of this, as well as the Nightmare on Elm Street series, bootleg versions for a number of years. Enough of those probably get sold. The studios finally maybe take a look and pay attention and decide to release these on disc. So a number of years back, we finally got the series released on DVD. Now, one thing that I can tell you about this particular release that I absolutely hate with a passion is the inside case and the way they have boxed this. I don't know if there's ever a time where these actually show up where they're not broken inside, the cases and the boxes. Basically, anytime you order this and it shows up in the mail, you can expect the box and the case to be broken. And so therefore, you always need to be careful when you open this so your discs don't come flying out and scratch or break. It's one thing that really bugs me about these multi-season releases is when they cheap out on the cases, because the cases end up being junk. And so that becomes a problem, and then taking care of your discs becomes a problem. The series itself, the quality of that I will leave up to the individual viewer. For me, personally, it is not my favorite series. However, the price was absolutely right on this. I believe I picked this up for $12. I think I picked it up for $12, brand new. So that's pretty hard to beat, and there's enough redeeming value in this anthology series, enough hidden episodes in there that are good, that I decided to pick it up. Is it my favorite horror series? Definitely not. Not even by a long shot. But it's definitely one that I wanted to add to my collection. The only thing that I'm now missing from these so-called horror series anthologies and things from the 80s, the only one I'm missing at this point would be the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So, it was a pickup for the collection. It was kind of a must. Is it the best series out there? Not even close. But is it fun? Is it a popcorn series? Absolutely. Can you have fun with it? Absolutely. Can you relive some memories from when you were younger? Absolutely. So if you can get a good buy on this, say $20 or under, then I highly recommend you pick this up. I believe it is still in print. I don't believe this is out of print, so you should be able to find this. And if you can find a decent deal on it, then I would definitely pick this one up. Next is the series Batman Beyond. And this as well is the complete series of this cartoon. Now, as any Batman fan worth his weight knows, this is not the very best Batman cartoon series. That would fall to the animated series. However, this one also is very, very good. Okay? This one recently came out on Blu-ray, and the nice thing I like about this is with a lot of these other releases, say on DVD and the Mill Creek releases and the Scream and Shout Factory releases, they don't include digital codes. The fantastic thing about this Blu-ray set is that it also included the digital codes. This has been restored and it looks absolutely fantastic on Blu-ray. It looks as good as it's ever looked, and the series, although it is not Batman the Animated Series, is also a very, very good Batman series. There's far less episodes of this one, I believe, but this has been a great series, and this was a very nice package that came together. It came with some, I believe, some lenticular postcards came with this as well. You also got your digital codes, and then you got your super high definition, nice and clean Blu-rays that made the series, like I said, look as good as it's ever looked. So would I recommend picking this one up? Absolutely. If you can find a good price on this, pick this up. Same situation applies to this that applies to some of the other Blu-ray sets. I don't believe this one is out of print yet, but there will come a time where this will be out of print. So if you are a fan of this, pick this up ASAP. You will not be disappointed. It is very good, and the digital codes should not be expired yet if you pick it up soon, and you will keep from paying the high premium prices when this goes out of print. Very, very good. I try not to include too much content from any of the series or movies I review because I don't want to include spoilers, so I try not to talk about specifics of the series, but the animation of this is very different than some of the other Batman series we've had, and I really like the look of this one, so I would highly recommend you pick this one up as well. Alright, that should do it for today. A couple more recommendations and video reviews out of the way. I would highly recommend you pick both of these up as well, especially picking them up before things go out of print. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you think there's things I could do better, let me know that as well in the comments. And if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would subscribe to the channel. Until next time, keep your life fun and keep things loony. See you then.